everyone, so this video is going to be a tutorial on how to strobe. Now I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with this technique, and to be honest I wasn't really going to do a video on it because I felt like this is just another way of highlighting, but I felt like a lot of videos I've been watching haven't really catered to the people who have oily skin. So oily skin and highlighting can sometimes look like you've been roasting in the sun and you can literally fry an egg on your face. This is just my way of kind of helping you get that same technique without looking like a glowing crystal ball. There is no specific rule on how much highlight you need to use on your face, and just the right areas of your face will really help to get that look. And even if you have oily skin, you can also achieve the strobing technique. So I just show you how I do mine. I keep my foundation the same because if you have oily skin, you should be using an oil-free foundation. So I wouldn't say switch to like a dewy foundation because you want to get that technique, because you wouldn't like it. After a few hours you'll be really oily. So stick to your foundation and make sure you also set the right areas. I would set my face completely. I would normally do my face with a powder, make sure it's matte, and then bring back that dewiness, that glowy strobeness with the highlighters and the light concealers or whatever you use to highlight. So this is what I did. The sun is literally like not my friend today, so it's going to be going in and out. So if you want to see how I got this look, keep on watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys. So I've gone ahead and applied my foundation. So if you're oily skin, you should be using something that's oil free. So what I usually use are a combination of these two, the Nars Luminous Foundation and the Makeup Forever HD. So the two together. This is the shade Bernars and this is the number 178. The reason why I use both is because this appears really red on me and it keeps me oily, but this is kind of like a medium coverage and it still kind of gives a glowy finish. As you can see, I haven't set my face with any powder, so it's kind of showing that glowy kind of dewy look. And quickly for my eyeshadow, nothing too crazy. I used this gold from the Jaclyn Hill palette, which I've literally been wearing every single day, and then the brown from the Wet n Wild Vanity palette. I need to find a backup because I cannot find this anywhere. I need to find a brown that looks exactly like the brown in this palette, because this is the last palette I have left and it's kind of very sad because I haven't seen any other shade like this. Someone recommended Coastal Scents, but they're sold out. So if you know something that's similar to this shade, please let me know, the brown in this palette. But that's what I literally just put that in the outer corner, inner corner, and then the gold in the middle, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. So I've left everything else for the video. So the next thing we're going to do is highlight, and it's all about making things brighter, and then usually where the light will hit your face you want to illuminate that. So ignore the light from the side of my face because there's the window there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to highlight. I'm going to use the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, and this is in the shade Amande. I'm going to apply this to my under eye, my bridge of my nose and top of my forehead as I usually do. So I'm going to apply a bit of that. I'm just going to use this brush by Real Techniques. This is their pointed foundation brush. I'm just going to blend this out. And I'm tapping instead of swiping. I feel like I get a better coverage if I tap the product into my skin. Just going to blend this out with a fluffy brush. And because I'm not going to be contouring my nose, I'm going to take that colour really close to the edge of my nose. Really close to the edge, the bridge of my nose. And this is going to make my nose appear thinner. So I'm just sweeping that down the sides of my nose. And apply some to my forehead as well, just very minimal. And blend this out. And then take it down the bridge of my nose. And this is how I'm going to highlight my nose. And I'm using the same pointed foundation brush and just blend it out. This is already forming the shape of my nose. It's very, very rare that I don't contour my nose, but I'm going to try and see if I can not do it for this video. I'm going to apply some to the top of my Cupid's bow, a little bit on my chin as well. Usually my chin gets very shiny, so I don't usually add anything there. But just for this video, I'm just going to show you all the areas that you would need to kind of highlight. But I'm then gonna go with powder. You need to set this with a powder because if you have oily skin, this is gonna look at my face right now. It looks very, very oily, very shiny. So you have to set your base with a powder. And because I have tanned a little bit since being back from holiday, I'm going to be mixing my powders. I'm going to use the Nye Topaz and the Sacha Cosmetics Buttercup setting powder. I'm going to mix them both together and apply that under my eyes. I'm probably going to start with the Topaz one first. And I'm going to be pushing that powder to the sides of my nose, also helping to slim down my nose. Yeah, so that's Topaz. You can see Topaz is quite yellow on me, so I didn't have to add the Buttercup powder, just so it looks a lot better on my skin tone. And I'm going to use Topaz to set my Cupid's bow and my chin as well. And don't forget your forehead as well, just setting that. Now I'm going to set my face with my face powder, and I'm using the Dark Deep powder by MAC. Okay, so I'm going to apply my blush. Now I need some colour on my face, so I'm going to use this blush. But the thing about this blush, it kind of has like a highlighting effect. It looks like this. I think it's Sunrise by Sleek. As you can see, it kind of gives a nice like subtle highlight, but add a tiny bit of kind of a flush of colour to the cheeks. So I'm going to be doing that just because I kind of want a flush of colour and still kind of keep it glowy. I'm using this blush brush by Makeup Addiction. As I'm applying, as you can see, it gives a really nice glow already, a really nice highlight. So that's what I'm using as my blush. Doing the same thing on this side as well. So my cheeks already have a bit of colour, but also have a highlight going on. It's really, really pretty. I'm just going to take that just above my brows, because you can see the light kind of catches above my brows. I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown highlighting powder. I feel like for people with oily skin, you want to go for a powder highlight as opposed to like a cream highlight, because you don't want to be extra glowy, and especially if you have oily skin as well, you might also be prone to like having lots of pores, so enlarged pores. You don't want to go too crazy with the highlight because it's going to really accentuate your pores. So you need to make sure that you just put it at the high points of your cheeks. And try to avoid the actual cheek part, because usually you get your pores around that area. So I'm just applying a little bit to the top, sweeping it forward, sweeping it above my brow bone. That's where the light is naturally catching, as you can see. A little bit on my forehead. And then I'm going to take this down the bridge of my nose as well. And I'm going to highlight my Cupid's bow. And then the two lines going just above that. A little bit on my chin. And then for more of a highlight, I'm going to highlight my brow bone and also the inner corner of my eye. I'm going to go for the gold from the Wet n Wild Vanity palette and just highlight the tops of my and then just highlight the high points of my brow. Because this is also where the light would hit. I'm gonna take a little bit of MAC's Arena and just place that there as well. I'm gonna go in with NYX's Mahogany lip liner. You can go for something more natural, but I've been rocking this lip quite a lot. So the two that I've been using, the Colourpop Ultra Matte Lip in Tulle and Bumble. So these two together I've been mixing. Adding Bumble. I'm also going to apply a gold shade to my inner corner. This is NYX Woodwinked. Just to give my eyes more of that awakened look. I didn't apply any liner to my top lash line, just applied lashes. So I'm going to apply some mascara to my bottom. So this is the finished look. This is my take on the strobing technique. Not too overpowering, because like I said, if you have oily skin and you don't want to look like you've been frying something on your face, it shouldn't be so overpowering, but just a nice highlight in the right areas. I really hope you like this video. Can't believe I haven't actually contoured. It just shows that a lot of steps that we do aren't overly necessarily needed, but we just like to do it just because that's what we do. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.